Hey, is this SlapperCast? Can we slap a number?
It is. This is episode number 347, y'all.
That is correct. For once, we got this right. If you're keeping score at home, this is SlapperCast, the rock and roll podcast, a weekly podcast with Blaggards, and we are number 2 on the all-time rock and roll podcast list. Don't look it up. Just take my word for it. Number 2 on the all-time rock and roll podcast. So if you're here, you're doing something right. The red head over there, that's Turbo. The other head, the shiny head over there, that's Chad. My name is GFL. We're going to be talking today a little bit about rock and roll. First things first, I had a wonderful 3rd annual Pirate Festival at Home Sweet Farm in Brenham, Texas, last Saturday. Beyond expectations. Am I wrong?
No, sir. That was really, really fun. I think it was one of the best turnouts we've had at HSF. We even started, I think, like 20 minutes earlier than we usually do because everybody was just there and ready for us to start. So that was really great. 3-hour show nonstop. People ask us how we do it. I don't know. We just do it. It just comes naturally to us at this point. But I love that. I love those kind of shows where we just don't stop and we just keep going.
You're never coming back for Copperhead Road.
I know we don't get to spend a lot of time outside with the vendors and stuff because we're setting up for the show and getting ready, but I think it was the better turnout. You know, man, there's so many people in costume. You know, it seems like that is increasing and just everybody there and like all smiles, all ready to go. Like they weren't stopping. Like I think they had more energy than us. They were all night. So one of my favorite times there for sure.
I don't know about more energy than us. I saw a lot of people getting tired sitting, but no, it was exceptional turnout. The general consensus is, and it's at this point non-debatable. There's just no discussion. Home Sweet Farm, Julia and Cameron have done such a great job in creating that atmosphere. I tried foolishly to get together with Cameron for a few minutes before the festival really got into gear, and it was just impossible because they worked so hard down to the final detail. A huge mural on the wall outside. They put eye patches on the murals, and I had an eye patch on as well, but I had to use mine as a codpiece because it's a huge eye patch. It's about that big, but they decorated it, they promoted it, they took care of the vendors. They had a cancellation. The fire dancer canceled last minute. I think the 4-way stop sign on the way into Brenham confused them, so they didn't make it. But the vendors were all smiles and great gear out there. Just, you know, a lot of times, you know, you see these festivals and there's, you know, people out there selling laundry lint and, you know, old chewing gum sculptures and just not nonsense, you know, just stuff that you just, you know, it's I call it the pre-landfill. I guess everything's really pre-landfill when you think about it. But other than that, flawless. Food was great. This is the 3rd annual Pirate Festival at Home Sweet Farm in Brenham, Texas, and there will be a 4th and a 5th. And this thing is growing, and it's growing at a very, very large clip every single time we turn around. So it's the costumes were out of this world. The people that traveled from such distances to come in to see it, and I do need to apologize to Mary and to Kate. They did see me in my van doing something that you really shouldn't do in public, but anyway, I thought the windows were down. They were up, or up and they were down, and they got to see it. So they're probably never going to eat again, but that's all right. The Traveling Murphys played before us were tremendous. Check them out. They have not sure about their webpage, but I know they're definitely on the social media thing, and they're the husband and wife, Darcy and Kevin, and their daughter, Rosie. They are tremendous entertainers, great singers, multi-instrumentalists, wonderful choice of songs, wonderful choice of material. And Cameron said it best. He said, man, what a great vibe. He said, if you can't get into this, you're a monster.
Yeah, I was really impressed with I don't think I'd seen Traveling Murphy since they played Stout Irish Fest with us at Continental Club, whenever that was, like 10 years ago or something. So really fun seeing them again. Rosie, gosh, incredible voice. I guess she must have been 12 last time we saw her or something like that. Incredible singing voice. And they sang, my favorite thing they did was they did a cover of Richard Thompson's Vincent Black Lightning, which is a fantastic song. And I love Richard Thompson. I've seen him play live a couple times. Come to find out that forget his name now, the father,
Kevin.
He was in a like a workshop camp with Richard Thompson for like a couple weeks or something like that. So he actually got to know him. And I was talking about this with them after their set, and Rosie was like going, yeah, he's actually, I got to hang out with him, man. It's not fair. But they nailed that song. I thought that was so cool, because Richard Thompson is he's legendary, but he's also, I think, kind of underrated. A lot of people aren't really familiar with this stuff, but he's just fantastic. I saw him at Monkey Duck doing a solo show, and I saw him at the old Satellite Lounge before it shut down with his trio back in the day. Both of those shows are absolutely amazing. But anyway, yeah, Charlie Murphys are great. Hope we get to play with them again very soon.
I thought you said Charlie Murphy. Yes, Traveling Murphys are tremendous. Charlie Murphy's a nice guy too. The amount of ego that the Traveling Murphys take on their journeys is zero. So they have room for all those gears. They're just so humble, and they're so just generous with their time, and they love the audience. They love the fact that everybody was at the great listening area. As we've said many times before, it's a joy to play in a venue that doesn't have 1,000 TVs going while you're trying. And it's different if you're doing, just a regular cover show. You're just doing top 40 hits or whatever other. That's fine. Just do what you got to do. But I mean, as a band that's looking for that back and forth with the audience, that's a dream when you don't have to compete with all that visual stimulation, all that goofy. That's why I don't like going to games, with the exception of sitting courtside with Turbo for the Rockets, when the Rockets beat Phoenix Suns. That was tremendous. And then what did we do? We not only beat them, but then we took Kevin Durant from the. It was like, get over here. They're not nice Rockets, but it's okay. We'll live with it. But just we talk about it so much. People are missing out when you don't go see live music. You've got to go, and you've got to go support the dying art if you let it go. And we've I don't want to be around if that happens.
Yeah, I got to get them some offstage etiquette props to Traveling Murphys. Is we decided to go early, and so we, Chad and I kind of ran to the restroom real quick because we were anticipating going on time, and then I'm like, oh my God, there's 5 or 6, there's all these people in line, and I'm going, oh God, and she's like, nope, she was in the front and goes, come on, they're getting ready to go on, and I'm like, you rule. I was like just the offstage etiquette stuff. I'm like, man, nobody talks about that. Like, just thank you. I was like, thank you so much,
Yeah. Also, when you put into to the equation the asses and elbows when you go to get your gear off the stage, complete pro. Nothing was on the stage. It wasn't even a shadow. I mean, it was brilliant. So just that, again, the speed, that's crucial when you're doing any kind of festival, you're doing any kind of thing. So
yeah, I was going to say too. I mean, they also hung around for as long as they could to watch our set afterwards, which is also great. Bands can't always do that. A lot of us have other places to go, especially. I mean, they had to drive all the way back to Pearland. So I just love that when bands do make an effort to hang around, at least to watch a couple songs. I think it means the world to every musician when you're getting attention from other musicians, especially the ones that you respect. It means the world.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to see if we sound that bad all the time. That's what they said. No, but they are very sweet. I don't care for hanging around a lot if it's multiple bands, only because usually the parking's not good. Usually you've got to get your stuff out of the way. Now it's sitting in a vehicle which is completely vulnerable for scumbags, that lurking, that, obviously know it's a live music venue and that can take off. We've heard of many, many, many friends of ours who've had stuff ripped off from clubs like that. So it usually is a security move when you have to bail. But at the same time, what drives me up the wall is when there's performers that I can't mention what kind of performers, but the ones that come in and they bring a bunch of people and they bitch about everything, and then once their thing is gone, they're all gone. They don't support the venue. They don't, that's what drives me up the fucking wall, when you just don't have that. You got to have that. The venue is not there for your. It hasn't been built, for this one little 20-minute exhibition you're going to do and then piss off. It's not. It's a business, and unfortunately, which is, I think, might be my biggest pet peeve as far as music goes. It's called playing music, but it's not that, when I was there at 2:00 in the afternoon, probably before 2:00, 2 p.m. and I set the sound up and I ran sound for the Traveling Murphys. Then, of course, you guys arrive, we get all our stuff on, then we sound check again, then we play all night, then we drive, pack up, then I go home, then I got to bring the PA in when I get home. And I've got an hour and a half journey to my place as well. So it's 2:30 in the morning when I get in, get showered and that's not, I don't know anything that's fucking playful about that. I mean, that's a workout, that's just, so playing music, it's the wrong, it's branded wrong, or it's labeled wrong, whatever it is. So that's my bitch for the day. I'll be nice now.
Yeah. What do you think? It should be like building music or constructing? There's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into it. I remember when we first, back during the early Fado days, when we, for the first time we stopped to think about how many hours we're putting into a Fado gig, and we figured out it was at least a 16-hour day starting from us, loading the van at your house and then unloading it again when we got back.
Yeah, it's more than 16. It's more than 16. It's sometimes it was upwards, because a lot of the times Austin shuts down and they have streets blocked off and they have all this stuff, so we had to leave early. It was 20-hour days, because 3 hours there, 3 hours back. You got, 2 hours, ish setting up and tearing down. There's a lot of time that you take catching up with friends and, staff and, blah, blah, blah. It's grueling. I mean, I'm lost for words when it comes, to that label, but it's got to be more than that. I mean, and we've all done, our last tour up to the Pacific Northwest was, I've had road dogs look at us and say, man, that was huge. I mean, that was big, and man, we didn't blink. I think we were on the phone the next day saying, hey, what, this coming week, we got to be, let me ask you a question though. Of all the bands that that you've admired throughout your years, who would you say, in your opinion, lives what they like a Springsteen would be the first that comes to mind? Who sings about and delivers their brand? Who does that best in your opinion? And whoever wants to go first, take this one.
I got two that come to mind. So I'm actually going to say Rise Against. They are a politically leaning band. They do that off and on stage. So, they're involved. They're, so to me, it's not, they don't get on and put on an act. That's who they are. And they sing about it. They preach about it. They talk about it. They execute it. And, if you listen to their lyrics, it's just, you know exactly who they are. So that'd be my number one. My number two, as far as living it goes, maybe lyrics out, is going to be Frank Voodoo of Voodoo Glow Schools. I mean, I don't know anybody who's more involved in the music industry than that guy. Like, he helps so many people, and he's so busy, and he owns his own business. I'm just like, this guy is unbelievable. So I think as far as living and wanting to contribute to the music industry, Frank from Voodoo Glow Schools is top of my list for that.
Yeah, I see some similarities there. But go ahead, Chad.
I was going to say Bill Kirchen. I mean, I'm not a huge, I don't know a whole lot about his whole catalog and stuff, but that guy has never stopped. I mean, he's like, what, 74 I mean, he's in his 70s now, I'd imagine, and he just has never stopped. It's really cool to see he's actually living in the area now, apparently, because he's been working with our friend Jack Saunders on some stuff. I just happened to see him. I went to go see Shake Russell and Dana Cooper play with Jack Saunders at Mucky Duck. And I chatted with Jack before the show, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've been working with Bill Kirchen." And it was only after the show I realized that Bill Kirchen was there. He was just hanging out. It was a trip. It's like, holy crap! I mean, that guy, he's just a legendary talent, and he just has never stopped working, and I just love that about him.
And also has such a huge presence and a huge respect in the industry. I'll also throw Dropkick Murphys in there just because of their love for the working man, and they've never switched away from that thing. I guess that Springsteen thing has got kind of ties into it, but they've done their thing. I think bands like U2 that have kind of had the same message throughout. To me, it sounds very mega church-y. Again, I'm not a fan, but you can't deny their longevity, nor can you deny their passion for what they, believe. But I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, even Green Day, Green Day were laughed at by their peers because they were pop punk. But you can't deny their weight in the music industry now. Chad and I were talking about Stiff Little Fingers. I wrote this riff the other day that we're going to actually be actually, maybe we should put a little bit clip of this on. We won't be able to today. Next week, we're going to put it on here on SlapperCast. But do tune in, because I want you to see I want you to hear it. I want you to, if you do know who Stiff Little Fingers are, even if you don't, I would check them out. Band out of Northern Ireland that are, let me rephrase that. Band from Ireland called Stiff Little Fingers, and back in the 80s, they were writing some of the best, which would be now branded as pop punk. It was just punk, but it's just so melodic and so just catchy. It was really catchy. If you love the Pistols or Dead Kennedys or any of that stuff, to me, Stiff Little Fingers had a much shinier exterior, but they still pack that punch that a lot of these bands do. So if you like that kind of stuff, Stiff Little Fingers, definitely worth checking out. And if you know Stiff Little Fingers and you hear this riff, you'll see that Pilfering Paddy has has pinched again. I didn't go in there specifically to steal. It was one of those things. Once I played it, I was like, man, I like that. I was like, oh God, that's Stiff Little Finger. But I just love it too much to let it go. So here you go.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what that's going to turn into. I caught the Stiff Little Fingers influence immediately when you sent it to me. I can't wait for y'all to hear that. But this in the news, kind of on the lines of what we're talking about. I'm not a huge Rush fan. There's a couple of their songs that I dig, but I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for them. I saw them live at the Summit back in '89 on the Presto tour, I think it was. Great show. They're incredible trio, one of the best rock trios out there in history. But of course, as many people know, their drummer Neil Peart died about 10 years ago, I think. And was it 10 years ago now? Was it 2015? I'm trying to remember now. It's been a while. But they just announced today, I saw this just, as I was getting ready to record this with y'all, that Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson put out this really just ebullient video of the two of them announcing that they're going to go on tour again next year with this new drummer that they've been working with named Annika Niles, I think. And I haven't seen any footage of her playing yet, but they're over the moon. And just seeing how happy the two of them are that they're going to be working again, I'm just so fucking happy for them. And that's where they belong, is on the fucking stage. And they shouldn't just, I know that Neil is almost an impossible person to replace, but if you have a choice to find somebody who's capable and actually keep doing what you love and what, millions of fans around the world also love, I think it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm really happy for him.
I would agree with most everything you said. I mean, as far as Rush, you probably like more songs of theirs than I do, but no denying the impact and the brilliance. They're incredible talents. Blah 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 blah. However, I would take ZZ Top 100 times over only because, well, you know, Billy Gibbons to me is just, he's not a shredder. He's just the soul and the groove and the fucking laid back fuck you all vibe that he gives. He can do it. Again, we were lucky enough to go backstage. We were playing a festival in Oklahoma, and Merch made some phone calls. She threatened to break some limbs. We ended up getting great tickets and backstage to see ZZ Top in Oklahoma. Of course, this was after Dusty had passed, but still, every fiber, every molecule was still there because the band knows just how to lay back, how to ZZ Top it, and it was tremendous. And again, this isn't a competition. I'm just saying, when you said trio, one of the best trios ever, absolutely, Rush up there, and I mean absolutely, definitely up there. To me, I'll always go a little, to me, Billy Gibbons is, and I mean, obviously ZZ Top. There's no, you don't do it without, it's just like Rush. You don't do it without those guys. Nobody else could have come in and done it. I believe Beatles, same thing. Nobody else could have come in and done it. Rolling Stones, I think you could train some monkeys, but just I don't like the Rolling Stones. Anyway, that's just me. Anyway, listen, we're going a little bit over time here. So this coming week, we're going to be at O'Bannon's again. This coming, Friday? Yes. We're going to be this coming Friday. So if you're watching SlapperCast and this is, you're not in October of 2025, you're late. So make plans to come and see us. I want to say a special thank you to Sigma Chi for bringing us out to Bryan. We played a wonderful place in Bryan called the Third Floor. And usually we don't play anywhere close to Bryan, Texas, because O'Bannon's is in College Station right down the road, and that's the only place we play. But this was a private event, and Thomas and Connor and Harris and Beck, thank you so much for your for your trust in us. They did an Irish night, and they packed the room, and they could not have been more gracious. They could not have danced more. They could not have sang more. It was a riot. So we want to thank them very much, and hopefully we'll see them at O'Bannon's this coming Friday. And also Sunday coming up, I'm doing another solo show. I'm opening the show for a band called Lone Feather at Rehab on the Bayou. So it's inside the loop. It's no cover charge. It's 4 to 7. That is this coming Sunday. And I'm going to be trotting out some new old songs and hopefully an original or two. Working on that now. So it's just going to be me. It's going to be a solo acoustic. And then Continental Club coming up next week with, what was the other one? Checks Notes.
We have the Methodist Fun Fair.
Fun for All the Family Fair.
Yes.
When is that?
The 19th, Sunday.
Sunday the 19th. All right. But before that, College Station, this coming Friday night. Please be there. And I think we should maybe show a clip of the war hymn. But we do have a live record coming out, and we're going to have news on that very, very soon. I just, from all of us, just thank you for tuning in. This is SlapperCast. You're here. We're glad you did it, and hope to see you very, very, very soon out on the road. We are Blaggards. That's Smalley. That's Turbo, and I'm GFL. We shall be seeing you very, very soon. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Al. See you next week.
See ya.
Thank you. We'll see y'all again. Thank you for coming. We love you. Thank you.